Welcome to BizWack. Brought to you by Hugh Hamilton Leadership Group. This episode sponsored by West End Auto Body. Featuring Chilliwack Mayor Ken Popove. All right, here we go. BizWack. I'm Hugh Hamilton. Garrah is here. And our guest today, Mayor of Chilliwack, Ken Popove. Ken, thanks for coming.
Hey, good afternoon, gentlemen. And I use that term very loosely.
Already into it.
Well, let's kind of get the game going here. It's all good.
Sure. Okay.
Ken Popove, Mayor. Yeah.
Okay, let's do word association. So I'll say a word, and then you tell me all about it.
This is going to be after.
No, we changed it up.
Okay.
This is a curveball.
Wow.
Curveball.
That's good. I can hit curveballs.
Houseboats.
I owned one.
Did you?
Owned
Yep.
one.
Owned one. Yeah. I was the only 36-foot house. Well, the only houseboat on Cultus Lake. We had like a tour, houseboat tour. We take 20 people and on a 3-hour tour. It's like the Gilligan's Island on a 3-hour tour.
Cultus Lake?
Yeah.
Just navigating through all those ski boats and crazy Vancouver people crashing
We're
waves.
probably going back.
Okay.
40 years, maybe 35 years, and the population wasn't what it is now, and sure, I had a few sea-doos hit me and people splashing you and whatever because they wanted to be a part of the fun.
Sure.
That was a whole deal. But
Were you the captain?
I did take out some of the tours, but I did have Captain Dano. I had a good friend of mine that loved doing that, so I let him do it. I did all the prepping and make sure there's fuel and the thing's running great and whatever. But
Make sure the cooler's full. Make sure the cooler's full.
We couldn't do it now with all the regulations.
Right.
Now there's not a chance.
Right.
What was the boat's name?
Life Be In It.
Whoa. Life Be In It.
Yeah.
Ken.
Yeah, I had a couple of partners, and then I bought them out, and that name went with them, and then I called it Cultus Charter Cruises. So that it was fun. It was fun.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of bikinis. Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. What about your Speedo? Were you rocking a Speedo back 30 years ago?
It was fashionable.
That ship has never come into port.
It's never docked, that ship.
No.
That's great.
So that 40 years ago,
Yeah, somewhere around there. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you were born in the Kootenays, weren't you?
No, I was born in Mission.
Mission.
And I moved to Chilliwack when I was 12. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, my dad was in government on the bureaucratical side. He got a job here in Chilliwack and as the administrative treasurer of the city of Chilliwack, and we moved here when I was 12 years old, and away we went. So yeah, that's where my roots were.
What kind of student were you?
In school?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, what part of school are we
Let's
talking?
high school.
I'm ready to go to high school with this.
I graduated with finger painting and basket weaving was my top items. I wanted to get out of there and get out of the workforce. I wasn't. I had no desire for any post secondary.
Right.
I just wanted to get in the workforce and I bought my first house when I was 18 and whatever. I just wanted
to houses
work.
back then.
$63,000 is what I paid.
Where was it?
Just in behind City Hall, actually.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's my school. I had lots of fun. Well, school was a place to find out where the parties were on the weekend.
Absolutely.
And we would cruise to Sardis. That's where we dated all the Sardis girls, and the Sardis guys always hated the Chilliwack guys but it was vice versa. It all worked both ways. So yeah, it was fun. Back in the day.
Oh, yeah. Partying with Ken back in the, 70s?
Oh, yeah. I was sporting the mullet. Buddy.
What were you driving? Oh, the mullet. I'd love to see a picture. This is the part of the podcast we put up a picture of Ken in his 70s mullet. What were you driving?
Back in the day, I had a 70 Monte Carlo, and then I went to a 67 Mustang, and we kind of hung around with some of the guys that had some money that could afford to build hot rods and whatever. And of course, I had to do it as well. So it was all.
Let's do
race them as well.
Yeah, I did have one race out at Dixon Road way back in the day.
One race?
Yeah, I had a little 289 in my Mustang, and I beat the 351 Cleveland. It was for $50, and
Yes.
I got to the finish line first, and he kept on going, and I never seen him again. He never ever.
Did you get your $50?
Never got my
Whoever you are, you owe Ken $50. He beat you fair and square.
I did. But
Let's stay there though. What do you got now? Do you got classic cars in your garage?
No. I drive just a little baby Cadillac.
Yeah.
Nothing special.
Little baby Cadillac.
Well, it's a little smaller one.
Nice.
It's called an ATS. It's a nice little car.
What are you rocking for rims? We're rolling on 22s or your baby Cadillac?
I'm rolling on 19s.
Okay.
Yeah, I customize it a little bit.
Yeah,
but,
of course.
No, it's a nice little car, and I'm not a big driver. That's my wife's job. She loves driving, so
I got my wife to drive a lot too, and the whole family's in the van. I'm jumping in the passenger spot.
I really hate driving. But she loves being in control, and I'll let her have that, and I'll sit and if we're going up to our place at some peaks, whatever, I'll sit and have a beer, and she can do the driving. It's all good.
So So high school you finished. So,
I did.
Sorry, how old were you when you bought a house? 19, you said?
18.
So you must have been working.
I was working, yeah.
And what were you doing? And then tell us how that led. We want to know all about Ken's Tires.
Yeah.
Ken's Tire. Okay, well, how I got the house was I was holding down a couple of jobs, and I get into a job. I was building logging roads, and that's where I made some fairly good cash up there. I was in a camp, which I hated because I love people, and I was a little camp with 6 people on a actually it was on a barge, but whatever. But that's kind of besides the point. And I just saved my buttons, and I wanted to own a house, and of course I couldn't afford the mortgage myself, so I had to get a mortgage helper and get a buddy to move in, and it turned into a little bit of a party house, but we had fun.
Good memories.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. I don't regret anything of my past. It's been a lot of fun.
You shouldn't. Why could you?
And as far as the tire business goes, I work for pretty much everybody in town. I started at I started Big O, and then I went to a place called Butler Tire that is no longer there. And then I got a job with Fraser Valley Tireland that's still there. Got let go there, I guess probably 2008 when the economy went into the tank a little bit. And then I did a few other jobs, and then I came back to the tire business and went back to Tireland. I worked for the Philbrook family, and like a mentor of mine, Roy Hill, who I just seen a couple of weeks ago, and they said, you got to start your own little shop. And I go, well, I'd like to, but with the Philbrooks taking the lion's share of the business, and I wanted to stay with them, and it's a respect thing, and they brought me along, and then sometime after they were bought out, and at that time was when I went on my own. I bought I leased a little place on Railway Avenue that used to be called the Tire Doctor.
Oh,
and the place was just
you were the doctor.
I can't say the first word, but it's something whole. So anyway, we had to clean it up, and it was actually kind of funny because the first time I've ever got fired, the new owner of said Tireland, he caught wind that I was going on my own, and he showed up on a Wednesday, which he never shows up, and I made a couple sales in the morning, and he pulled me back to his office, and he says, "Look at the color of my hair." I said, "Okay, it's gray." "Well, yours is going to be the same way." I said, "I hear you're going on your own." I says, "Well, the I's aren't dotted and the T's aren't crossed just yet, but that is the plan." "Well, here's a check for $5,500 and good luck. See you later."
Wow.
So I had the summer off, and it worked well because a friend of mine who bought the building and property needed help. So I had nothing to do for 2 months. So we got the place cleaned up, and we put lipstick on a pig, if you will, and away I went. And I started with one employee, and that went well for about a year and a half. And I grew out of it. It like a lot of people followed me from my last employment place, and there was a piece of property in behind that, which I currently have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And there's a fellow by the name of Bob Weatherup who owned W7 Courier Service. And he would stop in on a Saturday afternoon. I work 6/10s. I was there every day, and that's the only way to get a business
How old
going.
were you then?
Oh, man.
Early 20s?
No. I was in my late 30s, something like that.
Oh, late 30s.
08-ish, right? You said? Yeah.
So anyways, Bob was like a respected businessman in town, and he'd always stop by Saturday afternoons. So, how's the week? What's going on? Have you thought of anything kind of moving forward? So, well, that piece of land right there, I'd really like to own it, and I'd like to build a bigger shop. He says, well, why don't you do that? Well, I don't have 100 grand lying around, so well, I do. Oh,
okay.
And it was the weirdest
Good friends.
deal that I ever went into. It was just a man-on-man. There was no handshake. There was no signature on a contract. There was no nothing. I negotiated to buy the land, and we got that deal done. And then when we went, when I went to start to construct, and I did my own, I was my own contractor basically, and that's when we got into a deal, because it has to be on like on paper, and I had a clause that I can buy him out at some point, and I moved into the building, and as the building was being built, I'm going, holy cow, but it's 3-4 times the size of what I'm in right now. I'm going to need more employees and more inventory, and what have I got myself into? But it just, I never looked back. I added on to the building a couple times, and since last April, I sold it to my partner, the business to my partner, and I'm just a landlord now. And
really, I'm real. That was a good job of telling everyone your whole process, because it's Class A. It's really, really nice place. Of course, I used to work across the street. And it's a really nice place. It smells nice in there, because some places you go in there and it smells like grease and tires and roads. It does. And who designed that? Was that all you?
That was me. Yeah. And for me, I've always you can only make one first impression.
Sure.
And I could have added an extra bay, but I wanted an extra big showroom, just to make the whole, buying tires is not something that people save money for. It's just, damn, I got to buy tires. And just to make that whole experience a little bit more appealing, if you will. People would come in and take pictures of my bathroom, because I had a design that
it's pretty nice. I've been in there.
I've been in once. Got a good price on tires.
But I truly miss it when I walked out of Baker Newby and signed all the papers off, and it was a weird feeling after 35 years in business, and from the start, people said I wouldn't make it a year, I wouldn't make it 3 years, you wouldn't make it 5 years. Well, 35 years later,
still rolling, but you're out now. You're out.
Yeah, actually, the wife still works there. She still does the books and helps Mike out, and he's doing fine.
That must have been weird, walking away.
Yep.
Like, is that a kind of moment where your life flashes in front of your eyes?
Well, just that chapter closes. You're after all the work and to run a business like with Richard and whatnot, it's not cut out for everybody. It's because if it was easy, everybody would do it, and right. It's not easy. There were a lot of sleepless nights, and I know my ex-wife. Well, what if we don't make it? We're not going to make it. Yeah. We're going to make this work. It did cost me my marriage, but because I wouldn't take a day off. But that's besides the point. But we're good friends now, so it's all good.
Yeah. So is there something? The business, you sold it.
Yep.
So, is there anything that comes to mind, like lessons that you learn running your own business that stick with you now as being mayor? Does anything jump out at you?
Well, my job, the city is a business. It's it's in the service industry. It's the same way. You just got to treat people, and it's a people business. I get inundated with emails that go through a process through my communication staff, and they get to me, and I either comment or I don't comment. But it's a business, and if people have issues like, like I want a curb, or I want those flashing crosswalk lights, and I want this, that, and the other, and we add it into the budget. If it's in the budget, we we take people's comments very, very seriously. I know the first year I got in, and Zoya, my admin girl, who's been there for a long time, she worked under Sharon as well, and I told her that I want to talk to everybody at least once, because there were people that would come in who were just constant complainers. So, okay, well, that was the way she dealt with it. I want to deal with it my way, and I want to at least give people, like the benefit of the doubt that they're not just,
not just another email.
I don't want to say the word wacky, but just if they're just, constantly complaining about something. But, and she, are you sure you want to do that? Yeah, I want to do that. And that's worked out well. I've got a great team at the table. I've been lucky. I've been really, really lucky to serve. I love my community. I love where Chilliwack's going and growing, which that it's one of the fastest growing communities in Western Canada.
Sure is.
And there's a lot more good than bad going on, in my opinion. I'm always like a cup half full guy and think positive, and there's social issues that we have to deal with that's out there, but every community is experiencing that.
Yes.
I was at a housing summit actually yesterday, and guess who I ran into? John Kretchan.
Okay.
Really?
That was cool. Yeah. We were in a Bayshore.
How are you doing?
I was in Chilliwack. I know somebody from there, but, he was a good prime minister, and he's 90 years old and still a spring chicken. He was. Yeah, it was cool meeting him. Had a quick little chat, but that's to do with the housing summit was about this Bill 45 that the province has quietly put into effect. It's got royal assent, and it's got to do with the encampments. And I don't know if you want to get into that or not, but it's in our neighborhoods, and there's the issue there for us is and for other communities as well is the downloading of responsibilities, and this is the province's job to take care of this, not municipalities' job.
Sure.
So I did see the Minister of Housing there briefly, and the stipulation there is to sign an MOU to play along with their strategy. We don't agree with their strategies. We're not going to sign it. So he's not too happy with the city of Chilliwack because there's lots of duplication. We're doing great work here. This, on the social side of the house and concerning the folks that are experiencing homelessness, it's a tough topic, and it's very complex, and I think we've done a good job. You'll never solve it, but you'll manage it. And I think we've done a pretty good job managing it.
It is a tough topic, and that's why we decided not to bring it up today.
I don't.
To shore up your point, is there somewhere where people can go and read about this proposal, what's being proposed to you guys, or they want to read up on what you're talking about?
You can probably go to the province's website, and it's Bill 45.
Yeah.
And it was quietly put, it got royal assent with an amendment to have more collaboration with communities, and we're still waiting for that. So anytime, province, you want to come and sit and talk with us, we're open ears. So.
Well, we better not get into it because there was a lot of big words there and short forms, and I might get lost.
Okay.
I'm already a little lost.
Well, it's a sunny day out there. Let's talk about the weather.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what I was trying to.
How many emails you get in a day? Sorry, Hugh. Just hit me with a number.
It varies, 10 to 20.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's say you're not at the housing summit, not talking about Bill 45. What's a typical week look like being the mayor? Because Tyler, he's thinking about running next.
Well, he should.
Next election.
Should. No, give me a while.
There might be a space available.
Okay.
My days vary. It's it's not an 8 to 5 job. Typically I get to the hall around 9. I read up on the emails that have been sent to me prior because staff's there at 8:30, and if there's meetings, I usually start 9 or 9:30. I chair a couple committees, Chilliwack Healthier Communities, which we can touch on, which is something I'm real proud of, and the Housing First Task Team meeting. I chair those myself, and I have chaired those since I was on council. And then from there, it could lead into some more meetings, lunch break. There could be a couple of meetings in the afternoon, and then sometimes I sit on the FVRD board Fraser Valley Regional District Board, and those meetings start at 6, and sometimes I go till 8, sometimes I go to 9.
6 in the morning or at night?
No, at night. Okay. So
That's late,
I refuse to get up that early. Oh, come on, man.
Well,
it takes a while to make this.
No doubt. We're getting there. We're getting there. I'm still admiring.
My day is spread out. I, like yesterday, headed into the city at around noon, and I got back about 6:30, and a lot of that was driving. But just, I was a panelist with the mayor from Kelowna, the mayor from Duncan, and a councillor from Prince George, and there was 4 questions that we had to ask, and to a full room of councillors, BC Housing folks, that sort of thing. So yeah, it was put under a spotlight, and yeah. So it was.
Is there anybody in other mayors, other councils that you've met that just, this guy's great, we could hang out if we weren't doing this job?
Yeah, there's actually a few of them. Yeah. Tom Dyes, the mayor of Kelowna, is a nice guy, and he took over from a kid that did 2 terms, and kid, because he was young, he was in his 30s, and that's a good question. I sit on it's called the Urban Mayor's Caucus, and that's me and 16 other mayors that have over 80,000 population in their community. And, we talk about the 4 main points, like the social stuff, the crime stuff, and development. And I can't remember what the 4th one is, but, it's a monthly meeting. I actually co-chair that with the mayor of Victoria, Mayor Alto. And that's kind of cool to, exchange ideas.
In different places, you guys meet?
In different places, but it's very similar everywhere. Mm-hmm. It's like back to this Bill 45, and it brings everything to the province. Well, not one size fits all.
Right.
We're doing a lot of the work that they are proposing to do. Well, why duplicate it if, there's no sense in reinventing the wheel.
Exactly. Learn from Chilliwack.
I like that expression.
We've set up a what's called a wellness center there on Trethewey that's open 7 days a week, 12 hours a day. And with our folks downtown in the past, we taken a bit of a hard love approach, with our security. And no, Bob, you can't be here. Where do I go? Well, I don't know, but you can't be here. Now we got a place to send these folks. And you can get a cup of coffee, you can get some lunch, you can get a couch to flake out on. A lot of these guys that are living rough, their grocery carts, their life. And they stay awake all night long just to protect their stuff. Right. And at this wellness center, there's a place where they can park the carts that's all locked up. And they come there and they flake out on the couch. I've been in there several times, and I got to know, like a bunch of these folks, and they're real people that have, of course, some sort of trauma has been applied, and they and they're not all addicts, but a lot are, and that's a real complex issue that we're constantly working on, and it's nothing that I signed up for, but it's here, it's in our face, and we have to deal with it.
You know what? I'm just going to go ahead and say, if people feel like they want to help out with the homeless situation, donate to the programs, right? You don't want to be doing handouts and stuff. We deal with it at our store. Yep. I think we deal with it the appropriate way. Donate to the people that are and I'm glad you said programs and stuff like that.
There's a good verbiage is they don't need a hand out, they need a hand up.
Yeah.
And,
okay.
It's Chilliwack's really a giving community. Salvation Army, it's going to be their 100th year anniversary coming up, and Paul McManus from the Ford dealership is leading this group to raise $1 million. And you'll hear about it more as times go. They're going to hit businesses up and realtors and car dealerships and this kind of thing. And they've already got some money already. Sabrina Vanderbrink's been one. Valley Toyota is another one. And the third one escapes me, but they've got the ball rolling of kicking in $10,000 a piece. And
that's nice.
Food banks are something that's dearly needed. we want to take out, the choice of paying rent or getting food. Let's take the getting food out of the equation. Let's make sure they got, food to supplement themselves and their family. And more and more that's a problem, and more people are recognizing it, and stepping up, and just a big old bravo for the community for stepping up. And
that was a big reason why we wanted to do the podcast, is highlight those stories in the community. Yeah. So super glad you brought that up.
Yeah, no, it's great. Salvation Army does great work, and
because it's not like that everywhere.
No, and I touched on CHC, that Child Healthy Communities, and when past mayor gave me the social file, there were 8 service providers that would sit at the table. Now we're north of 50.
Yeah.
We don't work in silos. We work together. I get such a charge out of being in those meetings because, somebody brings up, okay, I got Mr. Smith has got XYZ, and somebody over there says, okay, I can help you. Let's exchange and whatever. And if we can help one person, that's a win for me.
Absolutely.
I was watching the news, and the city of Richmond is, they're talking about a safe consumption site. And
it was a big protest.
Oh man, I talked with Kashid, who put it to council to at least talk about this. And this one lady, one person. Well, only 26 people have died in Richmond. Do we really need this? WTF?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
If one person, if we can save one person. So there's people don't understand. We've got 2 consumption sites here in Chilliwack, and 2 overdose prevention sites here in Chilliwack that are well used, are well monitored. Yes, there's been overdoses. Yes, we've had deaths, but I come back to the managing part of it, and we manage the bigger population, or they manage the biggest population, or the bigger population in that. So it's. Like I said, this isn't what I signed up for. I signed up for, paving roads and sewers and developments and that kind of thing. But this started back in 15, 16, and here we are now.
Well, let's go there. What about the civil work that's going on in Chilliwack? Is there something that you're really proud of, a big project that's you've just put your stamp on it?
Well, the 1881 development for sure is one that stands out, but that's not, well, I guess that is, classed as infrastructure, but the last big project was Veta Road and Promontory Road. Those were huge. Those are $14-15 million projects. The one on Veta Road was it pulled my hair out because they being BC Hydro, we were waiting for them to move the poles. Then our rains hit, and the floods happened in 2021, and that slowed that process to a crawl because they had other priorities to go to, and that's when the emails would just flash up, and we try to calm people down, and those 2 projects were huge. We're working on Tyson between Watson and I believe it's South Sumas. We're going to widen that. That's about a $9 million project, and that's underway as we speak. I know I'm getting some complaints already about that, but it's funny, people will complain about a section of road that's rough and needs some loving and whatever, and typically, well, we know that, and it's in the CMP. That's in our 10-year plan, and so then we embark on doing the work, and then people complain that they have to take a detour, or they have to wait behind a flagger because they're, they can't get from point A to point B.
Same people complaining?
We can't win, man. We can't win. Yeah. We want to fix your road. We want to do that, but just give me some freaking patience, man. We'll get it done, but... Oh, yeah.
So what was Veteran Promontory exactly? This is before my time, before I moved out here.
We 4-laned it, put sidewalks, lighting, all that stuff. And so, it's a nice piece of infrastructure. It was well needed. And we're strapped as far as we can go with our infrastructure because we are surrounded with ALR land.
Yeah.
We can only deal with what we got. So what we do and staff's in charge of that is, like expropriate land and purchase land, whichever way we can get it to widen the said infrastructure that we're working on. And some balk at it, and then we have to go to the expropriation because we can do that for roadways. We're legislated to do that, and we treat people fair. We get it appraised, and we give you
that'd be tough
appraised value. So yeah.
Let's hear from our sponsor.
So, Jeff, I hear West End Auto Body is the best place to fix anything crashed.
Sure, but maybe not all things crashed.
If my computer crashed, can you fix it?
Not that type of crash.
Stock market crash?
Ooh, that's beyond me.
What if we're crashing a party?
That sounds like fun. What time?
What if I crash and burn?
I can try to practice some empathy.
Plane crash?
How about no?
My Peugeot?
Sure, but that's embarrassing. Don't publicly admit you own a Peugeot.
What if I crash my wife's minivan?
Yes, and yes, that we can fix. At West End Auto Body, we fix any passenger car, truck, or van that you can buy in Chilliwack, plus many more. And we are happy to sponsor this episode of the BizWack podcast. Visit us online at westendautobodyltd.com.
How is your relationship with the farmers? We're a farming community.
Good. We don't have a lot to deal with the farmers. They do their job. 67% of our land base is in farm. It's huge. I'm not sure the GDP in that, but I know it's up there. They produce a lot. We could produce a lot more. I'm going to embark on sitting down with the Minister of Ag, Pamela Alexis, and have a little chat about the ALC. I feel that the first 50 years has been good to have that in place, but now looking at the next 50 years, and I give you an example of that about food processing.
Right.
You can't put food processing on ALR land, but you can grow cedars. You can't eat cedars. It just needs to be looked at. It needs to be updated. We need employment properties here in like in our end of the valley, with the growth to keep people off the highways. You have to create these factories and manufacturing, et cetera, to keep people, to stay here in town. And work and live in Chilliwack, and it may fall on deaf ears, but I'm going to go down that path because I feel very, very strongly about that.
Maybe something in the future.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
And then this question, we need you to please explain for us, what is SEPCO? How did it start? Why is it good for Chilliwack? And how can other communities benefit from it? Having something similar.
Well, actually, you actually spelt it wrong when he sent it to me. You actually spelt it with an S. It's actually C.
He's got it C over here.
Okay.
I learned. Oh, you could.
I laughed at that. It's SEPCO stands for Chilliwack Economic Partners, and it's an arm of the city. They get a budget from the city. There's things that the city can't do, like purchase land for development.
Right.
A good example of that is the baselands, UFV. They play a major role in there with Canadian Border Services, RCMP, Justice Institute, and of course the university, to work with them for expansion purposes, like they put in the gun range. They do the things that like I say, that we cannot, as a city, we're not legislated to do these kind of things. And I know the model here in Chilliwack is, has been copied in other communities because it's a good way to do business. For example, Molson's was a big push. They looked at 35 other locations and the work SEPCO did, and I will name him, the president, Brian Coombs. He wears this on his sleeve. We'd have scotch in the backyard and talk about stuff, and I'll never forget the one time he was over, and he had this shit-eating grin on his face. Okay, well, what's up? Molson's is coming, and that was that was a major coup.
Yeah.
Red Bull's another one.
When are they coming?
They're coming. They're going to be. You should see some preloading on their site probably in the next month or two. They're going through some more regulatory, bureaucratical crapola, if you will, and it's through the ALC. I'll come right out and say it. They being the province has instituted some other checklist that we have to do. That area is zoned for this type of manufacturing. Why is the province putting up roadblocks to make it harder? They almost pulled up stakes and went to Mexico.
Come on.
Because of the bureaucratical quagmire that they were in. And we actually had them out here a couple months back, and the president and all there's like 4 or 5 of them, and he's in charge of the building and the manufacturing and all that kind of. It's pretty cool. I know it sounds pretty corny, but to get like a business card from the CAO of Red Bull.
Sure, that's really cool.
It's pretty cool. And he showed me a picture of their home base in Austria, and you could put Chilliwack there. We've got the farmland, we've got the little mountains like Little Mountain, Chilliwack Mountain, and then we got the big mountains. It just so, and I think that was a part of the charm, of them coming here. And the quality of life, and because families are going to be moving here, and folks who live here there's probably actually estimating about 100 jobs that are going to bring the Chilliwack. So
will it be,
that's the kind of work they do.
Is it going to be as big as Molson?
No, it's not going to be as big. And what they're doing here is they're making the components that actually make the Red Bull product. So it's a dry powder. There's a spur line that they've negotiated with BC Rail that they can haul their stuff, and they'll can it across the line. Here's a good question. How many cans, if you will, of the product do you think they sell a year?
How many cans
worldwide?
of Red Bull?
Worldwide.
Let me take a stab here. 39 million cans. Oh, worldwide? Let me say 129 million cans.
I'll say
He's
750 million.
No, you guys are way off.
Over $1 billion?
12 billion.
What?
That's what
I knew that smirk. I should have went way up.
That's what they are projecting to.
If we're on Price is Right, though, I win.
There you go.
I haven't thought about that for a long time.
So when a manufacturer wants to come to Chilliwack and wants some information on land use and how the city runs as far as administration, myself and council, then we put it over to SEPCO, and then they take over and they do all the schmoozing and answer all the questions, and then at the end of the day, it comes to our table to approve or disapprove. Well, it comes through City Hall first, through planning, and make sure everything like fits into the little box, if you will, and then it comes to us, and we rubber stamp it, and away we go.
So Red Bull is on its way potentially to Chilliwack.
They're coming.
Well, they're coming. They're coming.
Potentially, they bought the property.
That's why we need a bunch of Dutchies flying around on Red Bull 24/7.
And it's kind of funny on the Mayor's Caucus. These guys, how do you guys get these guys? Oh, that's just that's how we roll here in Chilliwack. We roll out the red carpet and
smart development. Yeah. We have the land.
Yeah, and I hope I answered the question.
Yeah.
Like if your listeners, if they want more information, they're totally transparent. Just go on their website and you'll see everything on there. Who sits on the board? I sit on the board. I was just at a SEPCO meeting this morning, and so it's
our very own Tim McAlpine is also on the board, isn't he?
He does.
Did you know that, Tom?
I sit right next to him.
Of course I didn't, but that doesn't surprise me one bit.
There you go. No,
Tim, what's your title on the board? What are you doing on the board?
No.
Janitor.
Yeah.
Just cleaning things up. Yeah.
You're full of crap there, buddy.
Well played.
Yeah.
So, thanks for that answer, Ken. It explains a lot. I had never heard of SEPCO. I didn't even know how to spell it.
I know.
So what are your goals for the future?
As far as my life as mayor or in my personal
What
life?
are Ken Popov's goals for the future? Your personal life, everything.
Just try stay healthy and drink good red wine and I know my friends are going to probably see this and because I don't drink a lot of red wine. I don't know why I've gone white. Anyway, that's besides the point. I've got a beautiful wife. I got a great family. I've got a couple grandkids that I love. I got a daughter who's up in Penticton. I should be pouring a little bit more loving onto her. Ski more.
Oh,
play more golf.
Pickleball. Are you a pickleballer?
No, not yet. I've been asked to go, but I might try it when he's.
I came out of retirement last night. It felt great.
Really?
I'm just trying to get on close to this guy's level.
Yeah,
it's a thing.
I played a lot of badminton and tennis in my early days, so I think I can probably handle pickleball.
You can swing around.
How many times do you go skiing a year?
Not as many as my wife. Let's just put it that way. We have a place up at Sun Peaks, and I've only been up there once so far. I'm hoping to go here next couple of weeks. Just my life's a little bit busier. I have events that I got to be at, and if I truly don't want to. Or if I truly want to go skiing, there's an acting mayor who will take my spot, kind of thing, and that's what I did for the Business Excellence Awards. I was up there, and
he was good.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Bud Mercer. Yeah. He's
very personable.
Yeah, second-time counselor, and it's just he's just part of the team. He's ex-RCMP. He brings that kind of genre to the table, if you will.
Integrity.
So it's cool.
Cool. What about future as mayor?
That's to be decided.
Yeah,
that's to be decided.
That's fair. Absolutely.
You're stuck with me for another 3 years and
3 more.
3 more.
Yeah, I voted for you, man.
At the end of that, with my time with the BIA, it would equate into about 29 years of community service, and which I may continue, I may not. I don't know. We'll wait and see.
To be determined.
To be determined. Yeah. I haven't. We'll see. I love like I say, I love what I do, and if I can continue on with the same sort of quality of counselors and admin staff and whatever, it makes my job so much easier.
Right.
So
nice. You ready for it, Tyler?
Are we ready for it? Okay. The 10 and 10-ish?
Oh, here we go. Okay.
This is good, and we're set aside some good time for this as well too.
All right.
As we call it the ish, 10 and 10-ish. Okay, wonderful. 10 and 10-ish here on BizWack with Mayor Ken Popove. Let's just dive right into it because this is a very popular answer. Favorite restaurant in Chilliwack? Oh. And if you want, you can give us 3, but I request they're in order.
Oh man, that's a good one. I'm gonna say Capital.
Yes.
Bravo and Boundstern.
Okay.
Capital. I've never heard of it.
Chinese restaurant.
Okay. I love that you said that. That hasn't came up yet.
Yeah, Ken Lowe's a good guy. They're the best Chinese food in Chilliwack as far as I'm concerned.
You were right. Yeah. And that's okay to say that. That's I'm on board with that. I do like what is it? Chuck from is it the not Canton Garden? Whoa, hold on. Anyways, there's another one. His name is Chuck. He's the owner. It's he's got a great egg roll. That's where I'm going.
And then Bravo is at near Boundstern, right? It's just a hole in the wall.
Up the street, up the street from there.
I walk by on the weekend.
But there's Frankie's and Earl's and
we know all about Frankie's.
Yeah.
Hugo's, and Hugo's is coming 1881. I think they're open now. So there's a lot of great restaurants, and there'll be one more coming there on Wellington Avenue there through SEPCO that purchased those buildings, and Raf, who owns Earl's and Frankie's and the Bistro, he's going to open up a restaurant there. So there'll be more choices for folks to go to. So,
do you know the name of that new one?
He has not disclosed that, but he has. He signed the lease, and he will get in there for his tenant improvements probably late spring, and hopes to be open by the end of the year. So, and that's just another piece to the puzzle of downtown.
Because we want to get him on the show because everybody, 9 out of 10 people say Frankie's number one.
Yeah. And I go there for lunch quite often, and that's kind of hard to.
Oh yeah, it's a loaded question. Yeah. You want to keep everyone happy.
So I hope I don't
too.
get blackballed by not.
No, you won't. Burger King's not going to shut the doors on you, bud.
I do not eat fast food. No.
Oh yeah, how you got a good diet? Are you really focused towards that?
No, I try to eat clean and healthy. Yep. Yeah, it's important.
Yeah. If you weren't mayor, what would you be doing in Chilliwack?
I'd still be selling tires.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Right on. Maybe trying to start that houseboats business back
that boat has sailed. Let's just say that. Right. That was a good play on words. Good segue.
One word to describe your leadership style.
Team. I'm a team player. Yeah. I think people's idea of the power that I have is it's kind of funny because they think I can move mountains and whatever. But yes, I'm the mayor. Yes, I run the meetings. But I'm a team player. It's like we chatted, prior to this. I've only broken one tie, and that's how cohesive we are, and we we make decisions. You vote how you feel your constituents want you to vote. You may win, you may lose, and at the end of the meeting, we go and have a beer. And there's no animosities. It's left at the table, and we go away. There's some communities out there which I'm not going to name, which you probably are aware of. No, I'm not going to go there. But it's just not a good way to do business. And to fight amongst yourselves is just being, it's providing a disservice to your community. Right. So no,
it's never good.
Make your job so much harder. Right?
Like if you don't want to go and do your job, because Mr. Smith's gonna plow into you for something.
Who is this Mr. Smith guy? He keeps coming up. Complaining about roads. Let's kick him off the team.
There's no Mr. Smith.
Get the captain to kick him off the team.
We got a great team. Great.
We're getting deep here these next two. Okay. What is life about?
What is life about?
Yeah.
Holy.
Pull that mic in tight.
What is life about? I think it's really, your expectation of getting without giving back. Okay. You got to be a part of the community to grow a community, and it could be in volunteering. It could be picking up garbage around your neighborhood. It could be, shoveling a sidewalk in front of a senior's house that's in your neighborhood. Opening a door. Just being a good human being.
Like that.
Nice.
Who inspires you?
Who inspires me? Well, you guys do, right? You're putting me on a spot here.
Yeah, I know. It's a tough one.
I've got many mentors that I've had through my life. In the tire shop business. Norm DeVoe, Fraser Valley Meats. He used to. I was good at selling tires, but dealing with staff and CRA and all those kind of stuff. I'd phone. Norm, can I come talk to you? And we had a little room that we always went to and whatever. And I talked about Roy Hill, another guy that works hard and worked hard and really pushed me. But at the end of the day, it'd be my dad.
Okay.
It'd be my dad. I lost him about 18 years ago. He didn't see me as my role as on council. He didn't see my role as on mayor, but I know he's watching.
Right on, brother. What's the best way you spend your free time?
Free time. I left the garden.
Oh.
I have no lawn in my house. It's all planted up. I've been in a couple of magazines. I know that seems kind of corny.
No, that's pretty cool.
But it's just that's my passion. I like to just work in the dirt and create. And I got water features, and my cats follow me around in the yard. And
how many cats you got?
Two. I just
thought you were going to say like 10.
No.
Ken, the cat guy, just comes out on BizWack.
No, we lost one, like about a month ago, and we got them both as as kittens, and the one that's still alive, he was kind of bummed out, so we decided to get him like a buddy, and he's keeping me up at night. But I like to do that. I like to socialize with my friends. I like to hike, bike, that kind of fun stuff.
This one is my favorite. I think I say that every time. Who's your favorite music artist?
Well, I come from the rock and roll era for sure.
Yeah,
so
we
know it. The AC/DCs and the Led Zeppelins, the Eric Claptons, and that good old time rock and roll. I know I do a bit on our radio station here that's totally country, and I always kind of beat them up all the time because I'm not a fan of country, and my wife is, so it's kind of funny. But yeah, rock, blues rock. I don't have one specific where I collect all his albums. I don't collect albums. I just listen to music But
did you have a sound system on that houseboat?
Oh yeah, absolutely, buddy. Sound system. You had a barbecue. You had a cool slide off.
Was there a hot tub in it?
No, it was only 36 feet long. It wasn't like what you see up in the shoe shops. But
that's what I was thinking about.
Yeah, no, it was a smaller one, but fun times.
Going right back to it, favorite Led Zeppelin song. They're my favorite.
Oh, Stairway to Heaven.
Okay,
sure.
Yeah.
And I love the rendition that they did for the still alive members and at the Kennedy Center when
seen it. Awesome.
What's her name from?
I know exactly what you're talking about. I can't help you though.
Oh man, I forget her name anyway. But
Shakira.
No. There was two of them. Ann Wilson.
Yeah.
Ann and Nancy Wilson.
Heart.
I'm not sure if it was Ann. Yeah. I'm not sure if it was Ann or Nancy, but they did that. And I love the big orchestra and the big band and the big singers.
And they're up on like the balcony watching, right? With their,
Any chance I get to see that online or whatever, I'll just crank it.
I actually watched that. I zero exaggeration, watched it like 6 times in a week, like a couple months ago.
Yeah,
and just like put it on and just cranked it.
But then back in the day, when Molly Hatchet was you probably weren't alive then.
I don't know who Molly Hatchet is.
Or maybe in diapers still or something. But they were a great rock and roll band and Little Feet, and there were some cool.
I'm gonna have to YouTube Molly Hatchet.
Molly Hatchet.
Yeah, I've never heard.
No. There
Whoa.
some good,
We know what we're listening to on the way home.
Stairway to Heaven by Heart.
Yeah. Well, no,
I don't know if I'm ready for that. That would be like pretty sentimental. Just you and I at the light in my old beat up truck. Just as I want to know. I don't know. We might get some weird looks there, Hugh.
No, that's okay.
I'm adding this question because I've been waiting. Okay. Where do you get your hair cut? I'm always giving him a bit of a tough time about his hair.
Greg at Illusions. He's taken care of my mop for years, and I still have hair, and I get that.
You got great hair, Ken.
Both from my mom and dad, it's
I hope we're getting a close up of your hair right now.
Yeah, it's good to have hair. Don't do a close up, Tim.
Ken at Illusions?
Yeah. No,
Greg.
Greg at Illusions.
Sorry, Greg at Illusions.
Yeah. He runs a great operation there. He's got great product. And your ears are all right, too.
No, my hair it's off. And I was
didn't
actually...
even comb his hair.
I didn't. I wore a hat here and just threw water on it.
Well, you're kind of rolling it natural.
Yeah.
And
this is like the haircut that like should have been cut like 3 weeks ago.
And I go to Superstore, so my hair doesn't work.
That's where I go. I go to Superstore.
And
your hair there? John?
No. It's her name is I think it's BJ. Anyways, it's just like full on, just like wham, zip. Thank you so much.
Eddie Scissorhands or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I got there's a big announcement here this afternoon at
about your hair?
No. Okay. Well, so I gotta look professional, whatever. But there's like a big announcement that the province is they're Barrowtown, the pump station there that was utilized at the time of the floods, and they're getting some money from the province, so to upgrade that whole thing, because if that would have went down, we'd have been in big
what would have happened?
trouble. We'd have been underwater, Yeah.
Chilliwack?
It touched on Yarrow, and we can touch on that too. It touched on Yarrow. Boundary Road is a boundary between Chilliwack and Abbotsford, and just at the south end, it came over there. So there were probably about a dozen houses, and there was a lumber yard that was affected there. Through that whole episode, the toughest signature that I had to make was an evacuation notice to the people of Yarrow, because this is coming. And I, we had created a war room at City Hall. Yeah, we had a war room in Chilliwack where we had an emergency response team, RCMP, fire, our staff, and things were evolving so fast. The water was coming up so fast that okay, we got to sign this. Are we sure? Because I'm going to be displacing 300 odd people and
out of their houses.
Out of their houses.
A lot of people too.
Well, yeah, and are you sure that you got to do it? And saw my little.
But that's where you surround yourself with good people, and like you said, part of the team, right? Part of the team. Of course, it would suck, but you part of the team, right? You surround yourself with good teammates, and it makes your job easier.
And on top of that, with the pandemic and the heat dome, and we can't forget about the murder hornets. It's been it was an interesting.
I forgot about those.
Yeah, it was an interesting first term, and I just want this term to go smoothly. Just let's.
Well, you deserve it.
I don't need any disasters. But Mother Nature is her own. I know when we had that, and I wish they wouldn't call it the atmospheric river, because that freaks people out. Just call it the Pineapple Express. That's what it always is. It just sounds so. Oh, it's coming! Look out! Batting the hatches, and people were scared of that last bit of rain that hit more to the north of us. We got some, residual stuff here. There's a couple of landslides and stuff, but it wasn't near as bad as back a couple of years back.
Well, I've never even heard of it until a couple of years ago.
What's that? The
atmospheric river.
Oh,
I don't think anybody
terminology.
did.
Yeah, because we were an island for.
It always rained.
3 or 4 days. Yeah, that was wild. The CAO of Fraser Health in the morning. She phoned me, is there any help that you need? And I says, well, Victoria, right now we don't. It's okay. And no sooner than I hang up the phone, that people are phoning, I got to get my dad in Abbotsford to get his dialysis or his cancer care. So I get back on the phone in Victoria. I need help.
Yeah.
So she arranged helicopters and got them people down
were
there.
Running boats on the highway.
Yeah.
So
it was a thing.
Well, Chris Clute was a big part of
the
that.
Animals, right? That's
saving the animals, and there were some places there. He was telling me that the police had shut off, and we're going to go save these animals. And hats off to everybody that stepped up to the plate there. They were saving animals in boats. And that's all about community, helping each other out.
I think we did a good job of that, and I think we did as good as we could do. But to shore this whole point up, you're making some big headway today. You have a big announcement trying to help that whole
that's a piece of the puzzle
process.
But the folks across the line, they need to do some work on the Nutsack River. This last rain event, it did breach its bank. Not as bad, but they allow that to do that across the line, and it just overwhelmed the Suimass River, and then the dike broke. And
well, let's talk to Joe Biden.
Well, actually, Trudeau phoned me that.
Did he really?
Yeah, it was kind of funny that I got a call. I was getting into a helicopter. I wanted to see South Suimass and then fly up to Coke, and I know a guy who owns one, and he had a contract with Trans Mountain. And I phoned him up and I says, hey, any chance of getting a ride out just to see what's going on? I said, yeah, because they want to go up and see their stuff too. So we got in there and we toured the Suimass flats just to see all the devastation there, and then up the Coke and the Laidlaw laydown yard, the big pieces of pipe, as you drove by, it looked like toothpicks. They were just everywhere. Floating. We got as far as the Smasher, and we ran into the snow and turned around and came back along Highway 7 with that big slide there. And I knew he was going to call me when I got home. And my wife was in the house, and I was telling her about my day. And I said, I'm going to be getting a call. I want you to hear who it is. And I
tell her to pick up the phone.
put the phone on speaker and yeah, this is the office of Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. Is this the Mayor of Chilliwack? Yeah, it is. And so I says to him, yeah, you better talk to your buddy Biden across the line to get his checkbook out, because this is going to cost some dough to fix this up. And
did they help out the U.S.?
No. Not really.
Yeah.
The federal government was kind of funny too, because they were getting pats on the back as they sent out the the army to help fix the dike that broke.
Right.
Pile of crap. It was all our guys. Jake's contract, Strohmeyer's, all these guys, they all brought their equipment and we fixed the dike.
Yeah.
Not the federal
Jake
government.
His company was huge.
Sure.
So.
Just like this last, snowstorm that we had.
Yeah. Heard you say
Jake,
that on the radio.
Yeah. Jake had this piece of equipment that he wanted to try out and see if it worked. It's actually farm equipment, but it could load up a gravel truck in 2 minutes, and we got the downtown cleared in no time.
Yeah.
I phoned him up and thanking him, and that's just part of community.
I heard you talk about it on the radio.
Yeah.
I thought, right on.
Part of community.
Yeah.
Well,
if you talk to Trudeau, tell him I'm not happy. If you talk to him again.
Well,
tell him to give me a call.
no,
Yeah.
I think our second choice isn't going to be much better either, in my own personal opinion. But
We'll see, right? Like, I know.
let's get John Chrétien out of retirement.
I'm coming back.
That was just fun meeting him. Yeah.
All right. Perfect.
Anything else?
Hold on. How did we went from favorite music and we've never made it to this? Oh, the hair. Yeah, we talked about the hair. Yeah, okay. If you're making dinner, what's your go-to?
I love garlic. Anything with garlic.
There's a lot of garlic. Good garlic going around Chilliwack.
Yeah. Garlic and pasta. I like a good steak. Eat a lot of chicken. So, I do a lot of the cooking, which is, because I got the time to do it. The wife still works, so I get things prepped up. And so,
Not a boy, Ken.
Favorite setting of nature in Chilliwack?
my backyard.
Yeah. I like that. Where is that backyard? Whereabouts you living-ish?
I'm off of Corey Road in Beaver Crescent. Just a city lot.
Yeah.
Just a small little city lot.
Ooh, this is good. One thing you keep putting off.
Well, and I did it because I have now joined a gym and because I sit on my butt all day long and everything's kind of going down and I'm not getting any younger. So, I try to walk and hike and bike as much as I can, but you need more than that. So that's something. And it wasn't a New Year's resolution. I did that 1st of December. I said, okay, I just got to do it.
This is ahead of the game.
Do it.
This go ahead.
What gym is that?
I'm not going to say.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, leave me alone.
I'm a Planet Fitness guy.
There you go.
Yeah. This is it. This is the finale. Don't overthink this one, brother. One piece of advice, saying or expression that you want to be remembered by, or to everyone to remember.
That's a tough one. I don't know. I guess we'd probably fall in line with being a team player and playing nice with others. That's a tough one. There's not one, expression that I would take and use. Lead by example is another good one. I speak at a lot of schools and it's always fun. Do you drive a limo? Do you live in a castle? Do you have security? He said, no, I'm just a regular guy, man, who's just doing his job. And if you're a part of a community, be a part of the community. In some way, shape, or form. I already touched on that, but try and give back. Try and give back. Join our Rotary Club. I got you into our Rotary Club, which is, not I got you, but you came along, whatever. But just, there's great service clubs. There's great organizations that can always use extra hands. Through the floods, I was out there packing sandbags. And, it was cool because there were tons of people out there. And everybody was soaking wet, but everybody was, the same common goal was just to help Chilliwack out. And that's what makes my job easier, but so much fun.
Well said. I like that.
Pack some sandbags.
Yeah.
That's what I'm taking out of that.
There you go. Well,
right on.
let's hope we don't have to do that ever again.
No.
Never again.
Well, thank you, Ken Popove, Mayor of Chilliwack.
Been fun.
It's Ty Garrah, Hugh Hamilton. Thank you very much for stopping in.
Yeah, no, it was fun. I've never done a podcast before, and welcome me back in another year or two or whatever.
Yeah,
and we can
absolutely.
see what's changed from there. But
absolutely.
No, I appreciate your time and Tim McAlpine. I got to give you a big kudos for your studio here. You've done a great job here.
That's nice.
And he's a guy who gives back to the community as well, which is great. So
right on.
Right on.